Boom! Welcome to today's live. And today I'm going to be talking about controlled growth versus natural growth. And well, there's a lot of reasons why I want to share this, but one of them is actually how many of you have read Animal Farm by George Orwell? There was a scene there. Basically, the whole story revolved around the dynamics between pigs suddenly fed up with humans abusing them, decided to overthrow the humans and become, well, free the animals. And there were a lot of rules that were set up. That one of them was that all animals are equal. That eventually became, but some animals are more equal than others. Right? It started great before growing into something crazy. So there were three pigs there. There was Napoleon, there was Snowball, and then there was another pig who I forget. But basically, Snowball was one of the pigs that led the rebellion against the human beings. And the moment that they took power, Napoleon actually chased Snowball away. And the way he did that was by abducting puppies at a very young age. Right? He what he did was in that farm there were dogs, and the dogs were they gave birth to puppies, right? And what he did was that he took the puppies at a young age, um, in secrecy, trained them to become attack dogs. And when the moment came, what he did was basically um, his need for power was so great that he set loose those kids, right, those attack dogs on his friend Snowball, and those um, and Snowball was basically in exile. Right, ever since then, Snowball was basically in exile, and Napoleon was free to reign on the farm and even negotiate with other human beings eventually. The fun part was that fun fact, right? The ending of Animal Farm, and I'm spoiling you. The ending of Animal Farm was when the other animals realized that Napoleon, or and then the rest of the pigs, can no longer be distinguished between human beings. Mainly because the pigs themselves started acting like human beings, in particular, right? And then created that whole realm. And the reason why I'm sharing that is because, well, you know, there is huge power in being able to control the growth of an environment. There is huge power in being able to control the growth of an environment. Now, or if you're a leader, a manager, or something, it's in your self-interest to actually to actually create an environment where you can control the growth of your team, and for good reason, right? You don't want um, you don't want the you don't want people to outgrow their environment. You don't want people to outgrow your their environment. Okay. Now, here's the thing though. It's happening everywhere, right? That whole model is happening everywhere. Okay. Um, it's happening in office, it's happening in corporations, it's happening in your household, right? How many of you watching have noticed that for some reason and form, your your direction in life was set up by people older than you, right? A lot of people actually take time before they decide for themselves what their future looks like. It actually takes a while before they actually notice that, and it's crazy, that's such a crazy thing. Even as micro as our own household, we are we grew up in a very controlled environment, right? Controlled by our mother, controlled by our father, by whoever, or even better, right? Controlled by whoever is providing in the house. Okay, sometimes you'll notice this. Um, you have a mother and a father, but they're not really the ones in control of the house. Right? Sometimes it's your uncle, sometimes it's your grandfather, sometimes it's your grandmother, um, and it's something to look forward to. Now, if controlled growth looks like that, what does natural growth look like? Okay, natural growth looks like um, what's the word I'm looking for? Natural growth looks like uh, you are. Hold on, give me a second here, and I'll just I just need to respond to somebody. So what does controlled? What does natural growth look like? Right, natural growth looks like, well, let's go Darwinian here, right? Natural growth kind of looks like what would happen if you allow evolution to just take place, right? The survival of the fittest. And I don't mean by survival of the fittest, I don't mean um just the strongest survive, right? So in some factors it's in intellect, in some factors it's camouflage, in some factors it's poison or toxin, in some factors it's your ability. Or let's do this in modern days, right? Some people, to survive, they need to be able to work with someone um, exceptionally well, right? Now, um, hold on. So, and what it looks like is, if just imagine this, what would happen if the world trusts you enough to make decisions, even before you are capable of making them, right? The world is willing to invest in resources in you, right? Your school, your nutrition, your trainings, your mentors. What would that look like, right? If that were the case, but will give you free will, free choice on what you're gonna do next, right? They're gonna trust, they're gonna invest everything in you, but at the same time will nurture you instead of control you. They're it's a space where not only are you given the opportunity to be the best version of yourself, but you also have the freedom to choose what to decide with that power. That is natural growth, right? In the case of the prime community, what we're doing is something different, right? So we wanna, but then there are also issues, right? The issue with controlled growth is that whoever controls the environment controls people's thinking, right? Whoever is in power can basically dictate whatever is real, even though it's not. Okay, that's the issue. There is no true freedom in a fully controlled environment. However, in a natural growth environment, the the problem there is the volatility. In short, the volatility and the uncertainty, right? There's an uncertainty of whether or not investing in a particular person or thing or is too risky. But at the same time, you're not the only one growing, right? There are limited resources in the world, and you're not the only one growing. And now the question is, right? Um, Whoever is the most capable gets the resources first. So now we're in an environment where if the strong does not choose to nurture the weak, the natural growth environment becomes a controlled environment. And there's just no real freedom there, right? And then living in an environment where you can be your best self is also too risky for you to risk your life on. Now, now my question is, what do you do, right? Well, here's the thing. I believe in merging the two theories, right? If there were an organization or a group of people where they create a safe space for people to grow, and they basically foster, right? Put the resources there for people to grow, and in turn trust those same people to do the same, then that's gonna create a powerful movement later on. Okay, so it's a movement made and done in the span of decades, and decades or even centuries, right? Before we see the actual result. So who knows, right? So that's basically one of the frameworks that the Prime community is sort of adapting. And based on result, we'll see, right? You've seen a lot of the members that we have here. They have posted, they have shared insight, and pretty soon these same people are going to be leading their own organizations, their own teams, their own um, their own movements that are that are beyond what they're already doing now. And for me personally, I'm excited for that. All right, so that's it for me. See ya.